His early tap-eye available. There he is. And in comes the cross. And again, yes, 1-0 to Adelaide City. Taladera. And he's onside. Is Carl Viet. Chasing back is Burnell. Viet has to score. Yes. And he does. Carl Viet has done it.
Maxwell heading it on. And finally two for Aloisi. Aloisi running into a spotted bother, but he's still going on with it. Aloisi, and he's put it away. Adelaide City lead. Didmar playing it on. Can Viet get on the end of it? He can, and he's put it away. And a great finish from Joe Mullen. It's all over here. Absolute joy for Adelaide City.
Champions. It's a description often used in modern sport. Rarely is it as fitting as for Adelaide City's 1991-92 team. History makers in Australian soccer as the only team ever to capture the league and cup double in the same year, not to mention South Australia's Ampol Cup. Statistically at least, the best team ever to play in the National League. Just as importantly though, proud ambassadors for their game, their friends, families and fans, and for the state of South Australia. Over the next hour, the Cable Sports Network will bring to you the story of a team of achievers worthy of the tag of champions, so you can enjoy, even admire, a group of men who had the courage to believe they were the best and the ability to go out and prove it. Adelaide City started the 91-92 season in style. Their unbeaten run through the opening 3 rounds primed them for their first big match of the year, the derby against arch-rivals West Adelaide. And City was brimming with confidence. Inside the first 2 minutes they had the lead and never looked back, much to the delight of most of the 10,000 plus crowd. The local derby was followed by the Italian derby, and City greeted Marconi with one of the goals of the season. Not the sort of weather you'd expect in a summer competition, but City's fans were prepared to brave the elements to see style like this. City's new supporters club, the Zebras, added much-needed colour to home games. Their tireless efforts no doubt contributing to the great start City was enjoying. The round 7 clash brought Melbourne, Croatia to Hindmarsh. Joe Mullen was to score twice in the match. His second, though, was fashioned by a dazzling run from Robert Choboth. The fans certainly enjoyed City's 5th win from the first 7 games and the look of teenager John Aloisi, who became not only the youngest player in NSL history, but also the youngest to be booked. In round 8, the gloom of Perry Park greeted City, and when Brisbane scored in the first half, the Zebras' unbeaten run was in jeopardy. It took until injury time before Steve Maxwell supplied the equaliser. Back in front of the home faithful, City produced scintillating possession football to topple Sydney Olympic in round 9. A chain of passes involving 7 City players moved the ball from one end of the pitch to the other, with Olympic merely spectators. The 8th touch from Carl Viet gave City the lead inside 5 minutes of play. In the second half, Joe Mullen needed only 1 touch for his 4th goal in as many games. By round 11, it seemed City could do anything. Carl Viet's great solo run past 4 Sydney Croatia defenders, extending the unbeaten run. City's unbeaten run captured the imagination of South Australia's sporting public, and by round 12, it was standing room only at Hindmarsh.
Here comes the cross. Maxwell! It's disallowed. Here's Milter. And Maxwell onto his right foot. There's a deflection. Fiat! It goes over. To his right, Mullen's gone through the middle. He's going to run out of options soon, but here's Mullen. And he'll have a crack. Oh.
Playing for top spot, City mauled South Melbourne and deservedly claimed the lead after the break.
1-0 to Adelaide City. The penalty's been given.
Maxwell's missed penalty, though, was a bad omen.
And it's saved by McLaren.
City's unbeaten run was now a club record 12 games, but that's where it ended. After losing 1-0 to Preston, City returned home in round 14 to face Newcastle. Aurelio Vidmar was back for a break from his commitments in Belgium where he finished the season as one of the leading scorers, and he seemed to inspire younger brother Tony and his former Adelaide City teammates. But City surrendered the lead in the last minute with loose defending to start what became a 4-match drought at Hindmarsh. Against Apia in round 15, skipper Alex Tobin put his team ahead after only 16 minutes. But again, a last-minute equaliser forced City to share the points.
There is the Adelaide City side taking the field in the 26th derby in the National Soccer League since 1977.
The round 17 derby arrived with City having won just once in the past 7 games. Down on confidence and struggling with injury, it showed as Paul Agostino gave West an unexpected win.
Joe Mullen. There's a good opportunity for Zoe's Agostino, and he's done it!
City's only consolation was that the last time they'd lost to West was in 1986, the year they last took the championship. But title hopes were far from anyone's mind as City visited Marconi, and still Lady Luck ignored them. Robert Zabika maintained the form, which saw him concede only 12 goals in the first 17 games, but his defence again let him down, conceding a penalty. A goalless draw against Heidelberg was followed by City's blackest day of the year, a 4-0 loss at Melbourne, Croatia, that saw the Zebras slump to 5th on the table. But the players responded just 1 week later, ending an 8-match drought with a 1-0 win over Brisbane, Joe Barbaro providing a polished finish to a trademark City attack. Robert Zabika also was in good form, not only keeping out Brisbane, but also Paul Schillerbeer. City's return to the winners list coincided with the Club Italia Tour, where Paolo Rossi led fellow 1982 World Cup winning stars through coaching clinics and an entertaining clash with the Zebras. But just when City seemed back on track, Lady Luck deserted them again, with Sydney Olympics scoring a controversial victory.
Robbie Ironside has made it 1-0. Adelaide City will remonstrate with the linesman because the flag went up in their defence. The goal will stand. A good one for Horsley.
By round 23, City was in danger of dropping out of the final five.
Getting on Yankos again, Fiat's still there. Can he finish it? Blocked though in the end by the ex-Socceroo. And the referee overruled it. So you've got to play the whistle though as the header has come on. The referee has spotted it in Brisbane. The goal will not stand. And you'll see on replay, John, the referee was right on the spot, and I think there was a bit of climbing. The goal doesn't stand. And on replay, you'll see it, John. Right in front of the referee, on the right-hand side, was there a bit of climbing there? Caladira's coming with him now.
Eventually, Tony Vidmar's vision brought a much-needed result.
The numbers are up there at the moment. The deep cross for Fiat, the header, the goal! The goal they'd all been waiting for, and high marks has come. Just on 2 minutes left. And have a guess what was. Carl Fiat rewarded for an outstanding game. 1-0 Adelaide City. The killer blow, you could say, John.
Well, we've been saying all night that Adelaide City never got into good crossing positions. When you get in there like Brooks, you turn the defence. They don't know which way they're going. Fiat's free, an excellent header. One must say...
But City was still struggling with injury. Serge Melter's absence in midfield opened the door for Carlo Taladera and Ross Aloisi, and both responded magnificently. The victory over Sydney, Croatia was City's third in succession, but was also to be their last in the minor round. Dominating in round 25 against South Melbourne, but failing to find the back of the net. Then what was to be a celebration for Paul Schillerbeer's 200th NSL appearance ended in a shock final minor round loss to Preston. It really was an extraordinary minor round for Adelaide City. At the start of the season, they went through the first 12 matches without a loss, setting a club record in the process. But then, in the next 8 weeks, they failed to win a game, also a club record. But when the finals came around, all that counted for little. And both the NSL Cup and League Championship final series started here at Hindmarsh Stadium, and City was never beaten. Round 1 of the NSL Cup saw City take on West Adelaide for the second time in the same week. The result didn't change though, the Zebras claiming the lead in the 9th minute and coasting home after that. Five months later, City journeyed to Melbourne to tackle Croatia in the semi-finals, and again it was to be the Zebras' night. The NSL Cup has been a happy hunting ground for City. After winning in 1979, they repeated the feat a decade later with a 2-0 win over Sydney Olympic.
Working hard. Good play, Saad. Goal! He missed it. Coming over towards Shillabere, Ivanovic. Back for Maxwell. Mullen. Maxwell. Yes! Oh, the Maxwell! Out on the left, running by Tobin. Lovely ball by Sandtrack. Marked by Lee. Tobin into the penalty area. One goal! It's an own goal. 2-0. Comes forward to hold the cup aloft. The second time that Adelaide City have won the NSL Cup. Over 100 games now with Adelaide City. 59. Maxwell, the goal scorer in the 25th minute. And then in the 42nd minute,
City went into the 1991-92 Cup final chasing a piece of history, and even a wet and slippery pitch couldn't slow them down. Standing between City and a record-breaking third Cup title were Marconi, but not for long. The Green Machine also had plenty to play for, with Bertie Mariani in charge for the final time. But as quickly as they were back in the match, Tony Vidmar put the result beyond doubt. Buoyed by the Cup success, City started the league title chase 1 week later against Wollongong in the elimination final, and yet again they outclassed their rivals.
Vidmar. Now, can Adelaide City break? 4 on 3 at the moment, 5 on 3. There's a man on the right, there's Ernie Tapai available. There he is. And in comes the cross. Vidmar! And again! Yes, 1-0 to Adelaide City. Tony Vidmar. Hurling it in. Tapai. He got the space to crack a shot. Almost gone through, looks at the referee, who says playoff is burnt out. Winner of the match will play the loser of today's major semi-final between Adelaide City and Melbourne Croatia. This is a good move. Sorry, fortunately, I can hold these in telescopically. And good try from Fiat. Chew it. Make you pick up your game. Here's Fiat. Space for him now. Space on the right for Tapai as well. Now Aloisi, missed it. Maxwell. And almost off the line. Zoran. And he's had a good first half. Beautiful ball to Fiat. Oh. In towards Bradbury. Sard! Oh, goodness! 5. In it comes. Yes! Good save, but it's got it! And Sard scores the equaliser. Taladera. And he's onside. It's Carl Fiat. Chasing back is Burnell. Fiat has to score. Yes. And he does! Carl Fiat has done it!
Olympic tried to play offside and they got punished.
8 minutes into the second period of extra time. A real break. Eddie.
Yeah, I think Olympic was stupid to try and play offside from there. There was nothing in it. But I'll tell you, he took it well.
And so Adelaide City came to the preliminary final here at Olympic Park in Melbourne to face old rivals Ferencvaros and South Melbourne. The match promised to be one of the big events of the season, no less than 10 Socceroos on show. The prize up for grabs, a spot in the NSL Grand Final.
Maxwell. Tapai's deep on his right. He elects to shoot. Not a bad try at all from Stephen Maxwell. And it did take a touch too. 5 minutes in, Maxwell testing Bruce McLaren.
This shot will do wonders for Maxwell's confidence, Andy. He hasn't scored for some time now, over 3 months. And it's a good one to get under your belt early in the game. It's a splendid strike. What a great save from McLaren. Just gets a touch to it.
Tapai, it'll be with a corner kick. He's looked up. It's deep. So's Tobin. Looking for Tobin. Tobin got up well too. A great climb from the captain of Adelaide City, Alex Tobin. He in turn is looking for Trimboli. Trimmers will get there, but so's Ivanovic. Ivanovic with a great steal. And Milan Ivanovic, John. What more can you say about that man?
What can you say? Absolute class.
Speaker again with a towering clearance. Maxwell heading it on, and finally too for Aloisi. Aloisi running into a spotted bother, but he's still going on with it. Aloisi, and he's put it away! Adelaide City lead! 4 minutes into the second half. The youngster Ross Aloisi does the job. Just 10 games in the Coca-Cola Soccer League this year. And Aloisi has scored his first goal, one he'll never forget, John.
Well, is there a happier 17-year-old in Australia? And that was an example of persistence and skill, persistence to beat off the challenges, then finally to put it past McLaren. This is excellent stuff from Aloisi. He looks as though he's going to lose it. Look at the persistence through 2 challenges. And that is great stuff.
So the league's most experienced man, Sergio Melta. Having seen him at training on Tuesday night in Adelaide, I would never have expected him to be on the bench. Vidmar finding his man, Maxwell. And away by Blair. Vidmar playing it on. Can Beard get on the end of it? He can! And he's put it away! He was onside! Carl Beard, he's done it so many times before. He's made it 2-0. His 11th goal this season. And his 4th goal in the playoffs. Part of the big contingent from Adelaide City. 14 buses, 2 planes chartered. But they've been met by the forces of Melbourne, Croatia. The fans are out here in big numbers today. Not a full house, of course, but still a great scene. is former Australian under-16 keeper David Miller. Number 2, Paul Donnelly, is back in the 11, replacing Vlado Vanish. Right back is another ex-under-16 international, Mark Talic. Number 4, Theo Salamidis, lines up for his 3rd grand final. Joining Salamidis in the centre of defence is the ever-reliable George Hanna. Number 6 is Andrew Marth, who's played 3 games for Australia. Damien Murray is the only player in the 11 who didn't play in last year's grand final. Number 8 is captain Joseph Biskic, former Socceroo Alan Davidson, the number 9. Up front, Kilic, and he's partnered by Francis Awaratifi. The Adelaide City team, they've also made the one change. In goal is 27-year-old Socceroo goalkeeper Robert Zabika. Right fullback Paul Shillabeer is a survivor from the 1986 team. On the left side is another Socceroo, Tony Vidmar. The number 4 is elegant sweeper Milan Ivanovic. Joining Milan in the centre of the defence is captain Alex Tobin. Midfield veteran Sergio Melter has been recalled to the starting 11. Socceroo Ernie Tapai is another in great touch. What can you say about 21-year-old Carl Viet? 4 goals in 3 playoff matches speaks for itself. Former Socceroo Joe Mullen also lines up for his 2nd grand final. And joining Viet up front is number 10, Steve Maxwell, another Socceroo. And completing the 11 is exciting midfielder Ross Aloisi. On the bench, Carlo Taladira and Joe Barbara.
As they prepared to face Melbourne, Croatia, memories of City's only other national title win in 1986 would have given them strength. After losing 1-0 at home, City did the impossible, with Serge Melter, Steve Maxwell and finally Charlie Villani scoring in a 3-1 triumph at Parramatta Stadium.
Deep ball across, and away by Shillabeer and Mullen in the end. And Donnelly and Hanna getting confused. Here's a break on now. Viet, he's got Aloisi on his left, tap on his right. It's gone to the youngster Ross Aloisi. He can put it away, but a superb save by Miller. 1 minute and 9 seconds in. Adelaide City broke quickly. What a chance, John.
Well, that's the beauty of Adelaide City, Andy. Their counter-attack is so quick and so effective. There they had 3-on-1. That is a golden opportunity. See it. We had Aloisi last week scored that splendid goal that put Adelaide City in front. But unfortunately, on that occasion, what a great save from Miller.
The deep corner. They've gone up for it. The free header and a miss by Joe Mullen right in front. Adelaide City are on fire. Less than 2 minutes in, 2 good chances for them. And they picked off from where they left off last week here at the same ground. There's the corner, John.
Well, you don't get many chances in finals, Andy. Grand finals, I should say.
And again, the high speculative ball. Murray got up and Zabika parried it against the bar. A great header from Damien Murray. The buy of the season shows exactly why. He did the same trick against South Melbourne. He hit the bar, and he's done it again early on, John.
It's a great header, Andy, but also shows why Robert Zabika is the #1 keeper in Australia. That's a great save. Just enough touch to put it on the bar.
In comes the corner deep for Murray. He was up there again, and it's cleared off the line. And it looked like Melter. So chances already. We've only had 7.5 minutes in. Both teams with 2 great chances. Good play from Melbourne, Croatia. There's the deep ball from Murray. Now Awaratifi and saved by Zabika. Not enough meat behind it though, John. Awaratifi with a great opportunity. And again, the danger man that time was Damien Murray deep in that penalty box.
Well, that's the beauty of the Melbourne-Croatia game. The Biskic supplying an across. A nice lay-down from Murray and Awaratifi to finish. Zabika reads it well. Awaratifi perhaps should have done better with the finish. Wide Biskic, what a great switched ball. An intelligent layoff from Murray. And another great save from Zabika. Always remember him playing Brazil Bicentennial Gold Cup against the Silasses and Baldos of world football, where he didn't lose anything in comparison with those greats. I agree with you, Andy. He stopped his soccer career too early, Alan Davidson.
Miller fisting away now. Mullen blocked. blocked by Talic, and a favourable bounce back for David Miller. And Mullen saw the goal empty, and he had to hit it first time too.
Well, chances so few and far between. Here's one. I wonder why Miller, coming so far off his line, really left it exposed. And a lucky touch there, wasn't it? Joe Mullen can't believe it. But so few opportunities, Andy, and Mullen wishing he'd done better there. But it's very unusual to see Miller so far off his line. And lucky to get the rebounds.
Comes the Biskic corner for that near post that was just blocked. Can they get it over the line? Was there a hand? The referee, they look up, the Croatian players are very disappointed.
Yes, the in-swinging corner, always a danger. The numbers are there too. There's the touch on. Oh dear.
Well done. What about that one?
Well, you're going to put it to me. What about...
We'll have a look at the replay here. Maxwell was the man on the line. Number 10 that comes in the shot there. Taplo's behind him. The shot. Was there a hand? Hard to say on that replay.
Well, certainly not from that angle. That is full time. Now, the time for the coaches to earn their money. It's a tough job now. Once the games go into extra time, the leg's a little bit tighter. The concentration goes a little bit. And it's up now to the individuals and the coaches to get them back for this vital last 30 minutes.
A great turn from Adelaide City. Pretty blatant, wasn't it? Biskic wants it short. No one else is coming over, but he's elected to go for Murray. Now Mark lines up the shot. It's a great one! Andrew Mark was ever so close to breaking the deadlock for Melbourne, Croatia. 2.5 minutes into this extra time period. And a great strike from Andrew Mark.
Yes, his third effort of the day. The first two weren't so hot, but that one inches away.
They're just hooking it away in desperation at the moment. Melter. Vidmar, and that was not a bad effort at all from Tony Vidmar, making the chance for himself. We've seen 3 great attempts, John.
That was a splendid effort from Vidmar with his right foot as well. Just needed to dip a little bit to threaten Miller's goal, but that's a better sign for Adelaide City. Melter sitting now more in the middle of the midfield. I think that's a role that he should have adopted perhaps even a lot earlier. Just sit there, use your experience, distribute the ball, get Vidmar involved in the game, start to run the show for them. That's his real quality that he can offer Adelaide City at this stage.
And now Maxwell has been fed by Viet, and the shot, and a great save by Miller. And Salamides is there. There was a hand. The referee will pull up for the foul. No doubt at all. And Joe Mullen will go in the book. And Mullen goes in the book, the 5th player. But David Miller denying Steve Maxwell.
It was a great effort from Maxwell, wasn't it? Not a lot to shoot at. Gets the angle right. So does Miller, unfortunately.
Obvious Adelaide City supporters. Davidson lines up. Took a bit of a deflection. The Waratipi was on. Zabika off his line. And, well, the Waratipi came in a bit late on Robert Zabika. And this is interesting, John. The Waratipi already has the yellow. And I think if he was going to send him off, he would have sent him off by now. But Zabika had control of the ball. And obvious foul. And you think Francis is lucky to still be on?
No, I didn't feel it was such a bad foul.
He was going for the ball there.
There was a right to challenge.
I was almost going to say the front. And there it is. It's down to a penalty shootout. And it's a sad way to decide the outcome of the grand final. So that's the way it is. All the teams know the rules.
Let's go to the first of the shootouts with Andy Pascalidis.
Alex Tobin, the captain, lines up for the first kick, and he drills it hard and well to the right of David Miller. 1-0 on penalties, Adelaide City. An important start for the captain to lead by example, John.
It is, Andy. He led by example. He's put it away well. I think it's always an advantage in these situations to take the penalty first. Puts the pressure on Melbourne, Croatia now.
First kick for Melbourne, Croatia. Hanna against Sabika. An outstanding performance today from George Hanna. And a great save by Zabika. He picked the right play. And the Socceroo keeper has had an outstanding day, John.
An outstanding season, and that's one reason why. That is a good shot from Hanna. It's in the corner. Zabika reads it properly. This guy has led by example so much today. Serge Melter.
The longest serving player in the league, Sergio Melter, and a great save by Miller. Superb reflexes from Miller. Melter denied.
So often you see penalties go in and he drill down the middle, the keeper moving, but they're two splendid saves. That one from Miller. Melter's hit it well. Miller's gone the right way.
As Hanna took the first two recently as well, and he's drilled it well wide. An amazing miss by Andrew Mark. And the City fans absolutely delighted. After two penalties each, City lead 1-0.
And not even close, was it, Andy? Wanted to drill it. Top corner. It's well wide.
And he drilled it hard. The keeper moved to his right. And you've got to feel sorry for the keepers in this job because they really have to pick a spot and go. Maybe if he stood there, he might have had a chance. But you'll see on replay here, it's virtually gone straight at him. He had to go one way, just as he kicked.
When you look at penalty shootouts all around the world, Andy, most of them are hit like that.
And Vlado Bunish, who's come in for Josip Biskic. Biskic had taken the third against South Melbourne. Bunish needs to score here to keep them in. Bunish against Sabika, and he does it. 2-1 on penalties after 3 each. This will go a long way towards Adelaide City winning the game. Aloisi, and he took it ever so well. Ross Aloisi has made it 3-1 after the fourth Adelaide City penalty.
Well, you have to admire him, Andy, the youngest player on the field, probably the most inexperienced player on the field, to step into a situation like this and to calmly put it away, send Miller the wrong way. It's the mark of class.
And as Miller had done only recently against South Melbourne, he stands up to take the fourth one. Miller against Sabika. And a great strike from David Miller. City lead 3-2 on penalties. Can Miller do it? And a great finish from Joe Mullen. It's all over here. Absolute joy for Adelaide City. 4-2 on penalties. Aloisi, he'll never forget today. Promoted to the Adelaide City first 11 this season. The travelling fans, the players are running to embrace them.
Everywhere we go, people always ask us, oh, we are. Who we are. Where we come from. Where we come from. So we tell them. So we tell them. We are Juve. We are Juve. Mighty, mighty Juve. Mighty, mighty Juve. And if you can't hear us. And if you can't hear us. Sing a little louder. Sing a little